I like it.
Right, and he's still playing the Abundant Growth package. So he's playing 3 Abundant Growth, 4 Curiosity. He's doing them in place of the Celeste. He's playing no Charms in the deck.
One of the things that's kind of nice about that is because people are so used to Charms, it's very reasonable for someone to just not realize there are no Charms, but play around them.
So Caleb, with his starting of Blade Cover Scout, that's one of the 16 Hexproofers in his deck. He has four of all of them, of Blade Cover Scout, Invisible Stalker, Geist Saint Trapped, and then, while not having Hexproof, the great card of Voice of Resurgence.
Carrie trades her Avacyn's Pilgrim for that Scout.
Right. A pretty heads-up trade there by Caleb. Normally you'd say, well, Hexproof deck doesn't want to trade away any of its creatures, but he has the upgrade in Invisible Stalker. I don't think he's particularly worried about Carrie being able to remove, well, any of his Hexproofers, so he just assumed would slow down the deck.
We see a Arbor Elf from Carrie Oliver. Now, what she does not want to see here is a Curiosity, or, I mean, some of the other enchantments are not that scary just yet.
Well, this particular combination is scary.
2 enchantments, that's actually very good. That's a Rancor and an Ethereal Armor. That gives a total of 5 damage. So the clock has suddenly become very quick. 13 life for Carrie Oliver, and we're looking at best, a 3-turn clock for Carrie.
Yeah, and we know actually Caleb's last card is an Unflinching Courage, so that's going to be a 2-turn clock. She's going to need to find a way to deal with the Hexproof creature rather quickly. One question is post-board, what Edict effects does she have?
Well, besides Edict effects, we can also mention Ray of Revelation in the sideboard. In terms of Edicts, though, I do not see any Lilianas. No lilies of any kind. What she can do is she can Abrupt Decay the enchantment, like Ethereal Armor. She can Ray of Revelations. She can do those 2 things.
So she's going to have to do those and then gain life back with Thragtusk, because Rancor goes back to hand. Caleb will always have an attacker of at least 3 power, unless she can instant speed Ray of Revelation to make it a 1 for a turn, but that's about it. Her life is going to be pretty low here, so that's going to have to happen pretty quickly. And we see the namesake Ray of Revelation being cast.
And the Ray takes out the Unflinching Courage, so this is again 5 damage.
Well, I mean, I think we're going to see a flashback on the Ethereal Armor. I wouldn't be surprised to.
There is an Arbor Elf available to untap a Temple Garden.
Right.
So if that were to happen...
Yeah, she's contemplating on the flashback.
If that were to happen, because, I mean, there are other enchantments to get rid of. Getting rid of another Ethereal, or another Unflinching Courage, for example. But no, she gets rid of, wow, the Rancor. I think that we might be seeing a discard spell of some kind, perhaps. Maybe a Duress?
Yeah, Caleb, now the question is, did Caleb draw a green source? So Caleb has an untapped green source here that's going to be really bad for Carrie, and he does.
Wow, I think that the plan was going to be make him discard it, but that's not going to happen now.
Yeah, and a pretty aggressive play for her there if she has the discard spell. I'm not sure that it's that bad of a play. I mean, if she really feels like she can't deal with a 3-1 Invisible Stalker, then this will be her best option for stabilizing the game. That said, now she's anything but stabilized.
Yeah, it's worth noting also that Thragtusk, should Caleb choose to stop attacking, Ethereal Armor has another little keyword on it.
It does give First Strike.
Oh, and Geist of Saint Trapped hits the table as well. Resto Angel with Thragtusk. Carrie, if you're looking at the top of the screen, you can see Carrie won game 1, and so, this is Caleb playing to get to a game 3.
So we have the attack with Thragtusk, drops Caleb to 11, and that power of Restoration Angel and Thragtusk is able to give Carrie the option of racing here. She leaves up the Telltale 4 mana, which says, okay, there's very possible that I have a Restoration Angel that will undo most of the damage that Caleb does here, and actually will, I think, put her ahead in the race.
One of the interesting things in Carrie Oliver's build, much like Brian Braun to win, Carrie is a little less reliant on Unburial Rites, but is a lot more reliant on having just a lot of good cards. 3 Shadowborn Demon are in her main deck.
That's excellent.
Not so great in this matchup because of all the hexproof.
Right, I mean, it only kills 1 card, which is Voice of Resurgence.
But still a very interesting and good choice, I think, overall. We see Caleb come in, a 4/4 die representing an angel being replaced by an angel.
Yeah, and we might see, all right, so I think Caleb has decided if he decides he can't play around Restoration Angel, he's going to pretend she doesn't have it, which unfortunately for him, she does. And we'll see how she chooses to block here. Caleb, this is a swing of 9.
She's doing some counting here.
You have to think that she's going to Restoration Angel before blockers here. Yeah, I can't see a reason to not. And yeah, okay.
Resto.
If she contemplated there just chump blocking the Geist Saint draft, I think she's worried about a Selesnya charm or a Simic charm.
Any charm could make the creature she blocks with die.
Right, but the thing is if she's playing around a charm, so right now if she's letting the Stalker and Angel through, she's dead to a charm. So I think she doesn't really have the ability to play around a charm. Like, the ability, if she wants to play around a charm, she's going to have to chump block that Angel token, which is probably a higher price than she wants to pay. So you may just see, you know, the obvious kill of Geist Saint Trapped and then hope to counter swing and race.
She goes a double block with Angel and Thragtusk.
Right, that's heads up in a way because it does play around the charm, except it doesn't really play around the charm. And as we know, back here, Caleb doesn't even play charms.
And she takes 4 from the Angel and 5 from the Invisible Stalker. In with the team.
That's 2.
That's a lot of damage.
This is a swing of 13.
12.
Sorry, of 12, you're right. 4 toughness.
And that's it. That's
doesn't have it. So Carrie Oliver, 2 games to 0, takes down Caleb Durward. She remains at having just 2 losses.
Yeah, this puts Carrie Oliver to 9-2. And Caleb, I think he's going through and saying, you know, yeah, this is what I was hoping to draw. If you're just joining us, then you missed out on Carrie Oliver of England beating Chicago and Caleb Durward 2-0 with Junk Reanimator versus Van Hexproof. This is SCG Live, the StarCityGames.com Open Series featuring the Invitational here in New Jersey, the Garden State. I'm Adrian Sullivan here with Matthias Hunt. And, you know, I think